What's up, everybody? Doc Dark 1985. There's levels to this. All right, guys, check this out, man. Xbox's new identity, or the identity that they're taking this generation, is what's making the biggest difference right now. So even though there's no AAA exclusive game coming out from a first party studio on the Xbox for the Xbox platform, somehow they're still managing to be the more prevalent console. Sorry about that. Now, as I say that, we have to talk about Sony's identity. Understand that sometimes the things that you are known for, the things that you are good at, the things that bring you all your glory, sometimes get used against you. Or sometimes they figure out how to counter against it. And I guess countering is the best example that I can use as to what's going on right now with this console generation. You see, it's almost like a boxer, right? That has an amazing left hook, right? Sony has that amazing left hook. That's their identity. This boxer's identity is that left hook that seems to be knocking everybody out, right? And they've been doing it their entire career. They've been on a run, they've been on a streak, and they've been stopping everybody with this amazing left hook, okay? Sony's left hook are these AAA cinematic blockbuster titles that they put out that are great games. We're not going to sit here and deny it, okay? They are great games. Boom, that's the left hook, that's the kill. However, when it comes to fighting, just like in boxing, you understand that left hook means nothing without the setup. So what is the setup? The setup is that jab, the setup is that feint, whatever it may be, but there's always a setup before that devastating blow, that signature devastating blow. Sony's signature devastating blow is the AAA titles. What's the setup, you may ask? What's the jab, you may ask? As I see it, Sony's setup is the fact that they've, especially last generation, had such a huge player base that they could pretty much demand what they wanted from the third-party companies. They could demand to have exclusive marketing deals. They could demand to whatever they wanted from Epic, from games like Fortnite. They could demand to hold time exclusive titles, okay? To the point where even some Xbox games were timed exclusive on the PlayStation. That's an incredible amount of power. But again, that's the feint, that's the jab. The killer blows were always the Last of Us, the Spider-Mans, the Horizons, the God of Wars. Those were the killer blows. But without the feint, without the jab, that means nothing. So like any good competitive fighter that studies their opponent, Microsoft looked at what Sony did and also realized that that feint and that jab was the true power. So what did they do? They went after the player base. Again, Sony's true power is the player base. They went after the player base. They made it so enticing that it's almost undeniable for you to play on an Xbox, taking away that feint and that jab. If Microsoft would have tried to go pound for pound or blow for blow, left hook to left hook, why would they do that? Where have you seen a fighter actually do something like that? When they study each other, it's how do I take your biggest weapon away? And again, to the common eye, that left hook, oh, that's the big takeaway. But you have to realize what comes before that left hook, and again, it's that feint. Microsoft is out here taking away that feint, taking away that player base little by little by little. This Activision deal is nothing more than just that, little by little by little. And like a true fighter, Sony sees as well that their feint's about to get taken away. There's too much film on this. We are about to lose what sets up that left hook, because that left hook without the feint does not hit the same. So they can still have their AAA titles, which they will have. They can still have those blockbuster games, which they will have. But it won't hit the same without the player base. If that is not genius on Microsoft's side, I don't know what is. You see, a lot of the Sony ponies wanted Microsoft to compete left hook for left hook. Why would you do that? If you already know your opponent has a better left hook than you, why would you try to compete left hook for? I got to find a different way to win. That's what Microsoft is doing. As a gamer, it has to be enticing to draw us in. Clearly, they're doing it. Clearly, they're doing it. This Activision deal will put it over the top. So I understand. Trust me, I understand. It's like when people get mad watching Floyd Mayweather fights when they're like, oh, he doesn't brawl or whatever, right? He's all defensive, whatever. He's trying to win. He's trying to win. It's the same thing. Microsoft is trying to win. They're not trying to lose. Sony's great identity is now its own downfall. But how does a fighter overcome something like this when somebody figures them out? They themselves have to switch up some things. And that's exactly what Sony's doing. That's why you see the PC moves. That's why you see the subscription service. This is some deep stuff. The console war is actually real, whether you want to believe it or not. Shout out to all the fake neutrals, whoever says, I play on all platforms. Yeah, I play on all platforms too, but I still have my preference. Xbox out here figured out Sony's fighting plan, and they are exposing it. It's going to be pretty interesting. Let's see what happens. They took away that feint. They're taking away that jab. That left hook is not going to hit the same. You're buying a PlayStation just for their exclusives? Numbers don't show that you are, so stop lying. Dark185, there's levels to this. Boy, that boy feel too smart. We out. Peace. It's not adequate.